It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
I try to get down to the media center here for the, which was the Pepsi 400. Now I'm proud to say the Coke Zero 400. But nevertheless, to give you an update on various things that are going on and take some questions. And I'd start out by making a sort of a brief statement. And one is, you know, we started out right here in Daytona in February with a pretty dramatic Daytona 500 for sure. Got us off with a lot of momentum, and we've carried that momentum and have had various things that have gone well and some things that we obviously would always like to improve on. But some of the high points, of course, being the new car and getting it online at all the different facilities and tracks that we race on. And I know that there's been a lot of debate about we should do this or we should do that to make the car more raceable, and various drivers have voiced their concerns over the many weeks and events. But I'm comfortable to tell you today that the decision that we made, which was not to move the goalposts around and move the rules around and let them catch up to the car, is really paying off, because every week more and more teams get comfortable, are running up front that were struggling earlier, and there'll be still a few that haven't quite figured it out. But we're very confident that strategy and that the teams are going to figure this car out, and the racing action, which is the most important thing that we do, is going to continue to be terrific. It's going to continue to be safe and, of course, competitive. So we've had a number of high points throughout the year. It's also nice to see some of the drivers who haven't run up front make a run, and it's nice to see Kyle Busch and some others. It's also nice to see some young drivers that we have coming up to the ranks. Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski being two to come to mind that are showing pretty obvious big-time talent. So the last thing I would point out, and I'm sure it may come up in the questions, is the economy. And of course, as I've said to many of you in the past, we're not immune to a difficult economy. We're certainly not immune to high energy costs, and that's why the tracks and ourselves are working very hard to make sure that our fans get as much value as they can in coming to our events, because we know the hardships. We know how much it costs to fill the tank up, stay in the hotel rooms, and all the things that go on to getting to a NASCAR race. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions on any topic. Mr. Poole. Yeah. We stand that we're about completed with our look at our policy, and we've said before we have a long-standing policy that we think works well. We've also acknowledged that there's different circumstances and different things that are going on today that might not have gone on when we originated the policy, and that if there's ways to improve it, and there probably will be, we will, and we'll have those answers pretty shortly. And I would think within a month to 6 weeks we should be ready to, and I wouldn't look for some dramatic change in our policy, because the basis of our policy, number one, is we can test any time that we want for cause. The other key ingredient is, and I've told a lot of people this, that you can have any policy you want, but if the punishments aren't tough, if they don't, that's the ultimate deterrent. And if you look at lifetime suspensions, which we have several out there today, if you look at what happens on a first infraction in our sport, it's very severe, and it frankly it probably means your career probably will be over. Certainly in a second infraction probably will end a career. A third will get you a lifetime suspension. And so while our policy ought to be looked at and reviewed, it's just important to point out that we've got some very strong parts of our policy that we want to make sure that we preserve.
Brian, Tom Jensen, SpeedTV.com over here. 9 months ago, GM stock was trading at $43 a share, and now it's trading at $10.
Right.
Ford stock prices dropped 50% in 3 months. Analysts are predicting Chrysler is going to file bankruptcy sooner rather than later. It's hard to look at the free fall in the American auto industry and not think that it portends problems down the road here in NASCAR. What are you hearing from the manufacturers, and what, if any, contingency plans do you have maybe to attract other foreign car companies?
Well, first of all, I think I'm on CNBC's Squawk Box here today with that particular question, so you're pretty well read, Tom. Well, look, they're going through a very difficult time, and it's, I'm not going to read into all their issues because they would be better to speak to those. They have repeatedly told us that their long-standing positions in NASCAR work well. And, they've got to market their products, whatever their products are going to be. This is a place where they come and they get to actually be part of the sport in a way that's so unique and so different than any other sport. But obviously, with their challenges come reviews and everything else, and we'll have to see how that goes. It would be we'll just have to see. Those are the kind of decisions that they'll need to make. Wish they were more healthy. Think that they will be at some point. In my own view of the reality of high energy prices and the kind of vehicles and the long product cycles that they have, takes a little time for them to get back on their feet. But I'm hopeful they will.
Tony Fabrizio, Tampa Tribune. Brian, the allegations in the discrimination lawsuit have gotten a lot of airplay, in fact, as recently as this morning. Whether they have merit or not, how difficult is it for you to see your sport placed in that light?
Well, naturally, we would like to have not had to be dealing with it. There's a lot of other things that we need to deal with. But we will, and it's a lawsuit, as I've said, and lawsuits take on a life of their own, and it's going through the court system as we speak. My own experience with lawsuits over many years is by the time the facts ultimately catch up to the actual lawsuit, they're usually a whole lot different than the claims that are made on the front end when you're after a lot of money. And so we'll have to see what happens through the court system. We'll be, as you can appreciate, defending ourselves very vigorously, and we'll just have to see.